In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we monetize this exact faceless YouTube channel that we see in front of us right here with just 2 videos. As we can see here, first video posted, second video posted, and we applied for the YouTube partnership program. Immediately a $72 day, which went then up in the first few days, like here, first $200 day. Then, here in the literally first few days, $1,500 in ad revenue. And just so you believe me, let me actually go ahead and refresh this page because I know a lot of you guys are very skeptic about this. So here we can see $1,500 in the first few days with the first few videos, and here we can also see it is in US dollars. You guys just saw I refreshed it, right? So with that being said, in this video I'll show you guys exactly how you can do that too. Now, for the people who don't know who I am, I'm Steffen, 24 years old, currently make between $30,000 and $40,000 a month with my own faceless YouTube channels and constantly build new ones, as we can see right here. Then I've made $42,000 with just 2 videos that I've posted. You guys can have a look at this. You can look at the dates, you can look at everything. I've scaled the channel from $0 to $48,000 in just 30 days. And then I've helped hundreds of other people do the exact same thing. For example, here, Martins, we've helped to make $31,000 in a single month, right? We can see it here in a single month with the top day of $2,700. Then here, a student, $24,000 in a single month. Here, a different one, 2 channels monetized in, let me have a look, 7 weeks after starting to working together, which is absolutely crazy. Then, let me look, here's another one, $12,000 in a single month. Now, if you're looking for the exact same results and you don't want to kind of go through the trial and error, then check out the first link in the video description. Book a call with me. On that call, we'll have a look if it makes sense to work together or not. Now, that being said, let's get right into the video. So first thing first, all right, we need to look into the account and the whole trust score and everything, because, this is for most people the most important thing, okay? So what you need to know is that there are different kind of accounts or account types. So there are brand new accounts, aged accounts, personal accounts, or pre-monetized accounts. Brand new accounts, self-explanatory, just brand new account. Then aged accounts are just very old accounts that you can actually go ahead and buy. Personal accounts are, personal YouTube accounts that you, for example, use right now to watch this video. And then we have pre-monetized accounts, which I would not recommend, when you're starting out with YouTube. Why? Because they cost some, good amount of money. And if the channel fails, I don't know. I wouldn't use pre-monetized accounts, especially if we are building long-term accounts. Now, for the account we've just seen, we actually used a aged account. All right. Now, all of them work very well. Personal accounts are, though, the best ones. All right, the best ones. If you have one, 100% use the personal one. Okay. Now, something very important is that aged accounts, account age doesn't really matter. So accounts from 2006 aren't any stronger, than a newer one. Anything before 2025 works about the same. Don't overpay for aged just because of the year. All right. Very important. This is going to save you a bunch of money. Now, we want to protect our channel from day one. This is just for you guys to always stay safe. So we want to use a different email address for every single account. We want to use different AdSense accounts, different browsers, or, different Chrome profiles. So all of this, make sure you do this correct from the first time you start the channel, because we don't want to run into any issues later down the line. Now, you do not need any proxies, anti-detect, or anything like that. It's largely a myth for trust purposes, okay? Many people speak about this. Trust me, you do not need it, all right? Now, we actually always want to warm up our accounts. Now, we warm up our accounts to actually go ahead and increase the trust score. Now, trust score is how much does the YouTube platform actually trust our YouTube channel. Now, the accounts that actually need to be warmed up are aged accounts, aged accounts and brand new accounts. So personal accounts, we don't really need to warm them up, okay? Now, how do you warm it up? We use it as a normal user. We watch 1 to 2 hours of content per day. We subscribe, comment, and like to different kind of YouTube videos. Very important is do not act like a bot, all right? This is extremely important. Then you do this for 1 week plus to lower the risk of a low trust score. Now, what is very important to note is that this does not work 100% of the time, all right? But this can help. Now, quick note, always have like 1 to 2 warmed up channels ready to go, because once you find a niche, we need speed. And that's why, my channels or our channels, blow up as they do, because, we have speed. if we find a niche, we just go into it immediately. All right. Now, how to actually test if an account is good. So we actually go ahead and record a real like 3 to 4 minute phone video. So you can walk through the neighborhood, you can do a drive, a room tour. The content really does not matter. Like, no joke, doesn't matter. You can even film your dog, whatever you want to do, content doesn't matter. Then you log into the fresh or purchase account and upload that video, and you check the impressions 24 hours later. If that video has like 0 to 50 impressions, the account is dead and I wouldn't use it. Then if it has 200 to 400 impressions, it's usable, good enough, but not the best. And then if you have like 1,000 impressions, very high trust score account and ready to post, to start posting into that niche. Now, so once you have your like kind of YouTube account ready, that YouTube actually trusts, the next problem is the niche you're going to put into it. This is where most people go wrong. Like 99% of you guys go wrong there. Now, that's why we go very in detail into niche research in this video. So make sure to get a pen, get a paper and listen. Okay. Very important. So I always say the work you put into, before even starting your channel is going to determine if your channel wins or if your channel fails. So don't make the same mistake and randomly jump into like literally a random niche, like for example, health or, motivation or luxury or even here finance, just because you've randomly heard of it somewhere on the internet or kind of, thought like, okay, a lot of people are going to be interested in it or it has a high RPM. Guys, do your research, because otherwise, trust me, if you don't do it right the first time, you will do it twice, okay? Now, something you have to know mindset-wise when we're doing niche research is niches are just opportunities, right? And we do not want to overthink and try to find the perfect niche. Gonna be very difficult, and I'll show you in a second what exactly we're gonna look for. Now, it will take time to find a good niche. This is where consistency comes in. I always say, try to do like 1 to 2 hours of niche research, especially in the beginning, like a day, until you find something extremely good. Do not rush into niches, okay? Now give it time and do not rush it, as I've just said, and treat YouTube like a business, not just a, random YouTube channel, because if you treat it like a random YouTube channel, you will feel it. You won't get any views, okay? So very important. Now, a very important factor when we're looking at, a niche is supply and demand. And this is actually, the most important part when it comes to YouTube automation. And that is basically seeing YouTube as a marketplace. Most people just see it as a random platform where you post videos. You need to start seeing YouTube as a marketplace. And just like any other market, YouTube has supply and it has demand. All right. Now, what does that actually mean? So it's very simple. Demand is basically what the audience actually wants to watch. And supply is how much content is there already, and we want to find a gap between these two that we can actually fill. And we'll talk more about it later, but we want to fill that gap. All right. Now, luckily, what normally YouTubers do is like, if you show your face on the internet, they take years to build they take years to build their personal brands, spend years building a connection with their audience, and it takes a lot of time and hard work to actually build demand around them. Now, luckily with YouTube automation, we actually go ahead and we skip this whole process, okay? Now, instead, what we do is we look for a topic or niche that has a lot of demand, but absolutely no supply, okay? This is what we look for, which is, this criteria, where this criteria comes in. So we have niche research criteria, and I would highly recommend you guys to, get a paper, write all of this down now, because I want you to have this next to you while you are actually doing niche research. So first thing, there are under 5 smaller channels creating content in this niche that are constantly getting more views than they have subscribers. This means there is high demand and low supply. Again, this is the most important thing on YouTube. Then there are no channels with over 100,000 subscribers. There are no channels failing in that niche. The niche is not older than 6 months. I can create better content than my competitors. Am I actually interested in this niche? Not a must, but because you can build a team that has interest in the niche. And then, is the niche monetizable? Super important. Otherwise, you're not going to make any money. I'll show you in a second how you can actually like double check that. And then huge bonus if you post long videos, because the RPM is higher. All right. Now, very important is that this does not need to be 1000% with all niches you find, because, if you're going to try to get that perfect, it's going to be difficult for you to find a niche. Okay. Now, if you get that perfect, if we look at, just as an example, this niche, or this channel that we scaled from $0 to $48,000 in just 30 days, this exact niche right here was literally perfect. Okay, it was literally perfect. All right. Now, tools I would highly recommend you guys to get for niche research on Nextlev. It's like a niche research tool. I'll also link it in the video description for you guys. It's like 13 euros a month. I have put a discount code and stuff inside there as well, so check it out. It's super helpful. I'll show you guys in a second. Then vidIQ, the free plan is way more than enough. Okay. Now, how we actually do niche research is we use a dummy account. Now, a dummy account is basically an account that we only use for niche research. The YouTube homepage actually changed for our advantage, and YouTube got extremely good at predicting what we want to watch, okay? And we can use this to our advantage to train the YouTube algorithm to only show us faceless niches on our home tab. I'll show you my account in a second. Now, instead of me explaining all of this, let me show you can build your account, because once you have your dummy account set up, you can literally find endless niches with it. So if we look at this account here, just as an example, this is my niche research account. 3 of you guys actually went ahead and subscribed to this channel, but yeah, we can see on the homepage that it's just faceless videos. Like everywhere we look is just faceless, faceless, faceless. Everything is just faceless. Now, let me quickly show you guys exactly how to set up an account exactly like this one. So what you're going to do is, I'm just going to kind of show you guys in a incognito window how to set it up. But what you actually do is you create a brand new YouTube account, and that's where you are going to set this up. So you would actually, be signed in here. Okay. Then you're going to look up the biggest, anything you're interested in. It doesn't need to be the biggest houses, but really anything you are interested in. And you're going to click on the video, and what you're going to do to train the YouTube algorithm to only show us faceless niches on our homepage is you're actually going to watch here on the sidebar and click through faceless videos. All right. In best case, if you're interested in like a specific niche, you in the best case only click on that specific kind of videos. So here we can see, then we're gonna subscribe, like to some channels as you want. I always recommend it because then the YouTube algorithm kind of learns even quicker, and they're gonna optimize your YouTube homepage quicker. But let's do this for a while. I'm not gonna do this for too long, but here already we can find small channels here already. So 2,000 subscribers, 130,000 views. So not bad. Let's have a look at the channel. 63 videos. So this channel is not really getting many views at this current stage anymore, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You'll find a lot of channels that don't get any views, but trust me, you will also find niches that are absolutely crushing it. All right. So after you've done this for a while, you'll then go to your YouTube homepage, where you will then, see here, mainly faceless videos. And I've literally clicked on like 3-4 videos until now. Okay. Here we found one, Tom's Jazz Launch, just as an example. 80 videos, 50,000 subscribers almost. With this video here, 2.5 million views, 800,000 views. This is a niche that I wouldn't have found, if I would use the search bar to kind of try to find niches through that way. The YouTube homepage is literally just insane. So here we can now see with here vidIQ, just as an example, that this channel is getting 500,000 views a month. Now what you can do with Nextlev is as follows. Now again, Nextlev is like 13 euros a month, super worth it in my opinion. But with Nextlev, we can actually see the RPMs of the channel, can see the views of the channel, can see all of those things of the channel, which might be interesting for us if we actually want to go into that specific niche. Not only that, we can click here on, just as like here, we can see $11,000 in the last 30 days, but we can also click here on similar channels and search for similar channels that are posting the exact same videos in this niche, as we can see here. So here's another one, here's another one. So they're all posting the exact same, here's another one, exact same kind of videos. And, with that, we can then see like, hey, is the niche actually saturated or not? So the homepage or the dummy account method is absolutely goated. All right. Now, once we find something, we actually go ahead and create new niches using the niche transfer method. These days, it's kind of known as the, niche bending or something. But instead of blindly copying something everyone else is doing, we use the niche transfer method to literally 1000x our results. Now, this is essentially taking proven concepts and moving them to different markets on YouTube. This can literally be anything. The title, the thumbnail style, the video style, anything that is currently working, okay? Now, if we look at these channels here, just as an example, we can see Medieval Times Discovered. This was the first channel kind of doing this kind of content where they speak about medieval people, just as an example. Did very, very well. And what happened? This channel here did the exact same kind of videos, but for cavemen. This channel here did the exact same of videos, or the same style of videos, but just for pirates. This one here did the exact same style of videos, but just for homeless people. And, there's so many kind of different ways we can take this exact concept and transfer it to different niches. But in the end of the day, we just want to take something that is working, like for example here, and move it to a different space. Okay, super easy. All right. So now you guys know exactly how to kind of do niche research and how to create new niches. Guys, if you need any help with that, like we, for example, here did with Luke, here 5 weeks since I started this channel, just had a $900 day yesterday, as we can see right here, or even, here Eland getting monetized, or here Masma, like first month, and we're moments away of being monetized. Then here channel taking off, here 1,000 subscribers in 9 days. Guys, if you need any help doing niche research and, starting your channel, again, check out the first link in the video description, book a call with me, we'll have a look if it makes sense to work together or not, and if it does, we'll scale up your channel, trust me, all right? Now, we need once we have our niche, we actually need like a very, very good video topic, okay? Don't sleep with video topics. Many people, think that once they have a good niche, they're good to go. You need to have good video topics too, all right? So you can have the perfect niche, but if your video topics suck, your views are gonna absolutely suck, all right? If you look at this channel here, this niche was super, it was popping off that time. This channel here, 2.5 million views in a month. Then this channel came, copied the exact same style of videos and got 200 views. Why? Firstly, because this video is way shorter. I'll speak about it later. But not only that, if you look at this thumbnail and even the video title, it's one-on-one the same, right? What do you expect? What do you expect? If you're going to do what everyone else is doing, you're not going to get any views, right? But we'll speak more about this. So most people go ahead and copy like one-on-one copy other successful videos. And again, this will never get you any views, all right? Now, supply and demand is not just important in your niche, but also in the video topics you choose. And this is exactly why this video completely failed, because there were hundreds of people copying this exact same video, all right? And I'll show you guys in a second, like a video that actually, worked and got a lot of views and what they did differently, okay? Now, how do you actually go ahead and find demand? So we look for recent outlier videos on competitor channels. We look for recent trending formats. And very importantly, we do not copy the most popular videos from competitors. This is what everyone does, and your videos will fail. What did I just show you guys? All right. You do not want to do that. And that's exactly why that video failed. All right. Now, how do you find supply? We use our YouTube search bar and look for how many people have actually created the exact same video. If it's been done more than 3 times and you don't have a different angle to that specific video, go ahead and look for a different topic, okay? Now, YouTube will always show the videos to the hardcore fans of that niche first, and if they have already seen the video multiple times, they do not have a single reason for clicking on your video, except if it follows a different angle, okay? Very important. Now, how does a perfect video topic look like? The topic actually resonates with your audience. Do they even want to watch this? Some topics sound super interesting but are very boring. Make sure your topic is not boring. Your topic has to be posted on time, especially if it's a trend. So just as an example for the World Cup, you can't start, randomly posting about the World Cup in 2 weeks from now. It's just not going to work, okay? Then you want to repeat what has done in the past. I'll tell you guys more about this in a second. And then leverage negativity. Humans respond better to negative things. All right. Let me just see. Yes, I added that. All right. So we also have something called a topic transfer method, right? So this is by far the most powerful way to choose video topics. And what you essentially do is you find winning video topics in other niches and move them over to your niche. This can work insanely well if it is done correctly. Okay. So here we can see just as an example, the cat example. So this video here is about a cat, and this one is about a dog. Two completely different audiences, right? So this video here actually got 55,000 views on a brand new channel in 6 days, where the other channel had like a bunch of subscribers and the video failed. The reason for that is because this video here targets a completely different audience. Not just that, this video is actually even longer. And if you create longer videos than your competitors, you have a competitive advantage over them. It's just going to help you. All right. Now, this is exactly what we did with Scott. Who went from getting 50 to 100 views a video and almost giving up on his channel to like $200 days within a week. All right, within a week. That's how fast the channel can change. All right, the interview is on this YouTube channel, so you guys can look it up. It is on this YouTube channel, and super interesting interview. It's like super long, like 40 minutes or something. Make sure to go ahead and watch it after this video. Now, double down on what works. We've already, kind of touched on this. But once you have something that works and gets views, why would you want to reinvent the wheel? Double down on that topic until it does not work anymore. Okay, if you have something that works, do 80% of what works and 20% test new stuff. This has worked extremely well with Andre, who went from just being monetized to $31,000 in 1 month in 4 months. All right, that's exactly what we did with him. So we literally had something that was already working. We took that exact thing and we just did more of that. All right. YouTube is the same simple thing. We never want to reinvent the wheel. If you're going to reinvent the wheel, I don't know. Okay. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. Now, if you need any help with this, guys, check out the first link in the video description. Book your call with me and let's actually, go ahead and blow up your channel as well. All right. Now, the next thing is the content creation team. Now, here's something that many people are completely confused about, and they literally don't know how to get started with this. Again, that's why, the people we work with, we hire and, do all of these things for you guys. All right. So make your life super easy. Now, you have 3 options when it comes to approaching content creation. So you can either do it yourself, you can do the hybrid method, or you can fully outsource it. Now, if you do it yourself, you do it yourself. If you do the hybrid method, you actually do some of the work and freelancers do some of the work. And fully outsource, freelancers do everything. Now, each has disadvantages and advantages. So just as an example, if you do it yourself, the advantages are you basically don't have any costs, you have 100% profit margin, you learn new skills, and you have full control over your channel. Now, the disadvantages are though, it's not very scalable, it's extremely time consuming, and learning takes a bunch of time. And without you, you don't make any money because you can't post any videos. Okay. Then we have the hybrid method. So the advantages of this is it's still low cost. You do what you enjoy. So if you like script writing, you just write the scripts. Okay. You still have a bunch of control over the channel. Now the disadvantages are it's only partially scalable, it's time consuming, and some capital is still required because you do need to pay the freelancers, right? And then without you, no income. Okay. So then we have fully outsourcing. Now this is, a lot of our students start with this and then they move over to fully outsourcing. If you fully outsource, you're working with a full freelancer team. Now the advantages of that is it's not very time consuming because the freelancers actually take over all of the time consuming tasks. It's extremely scalable. You still have over 80% profit margin. You have time freedom. You work with experienced freelancers, and without you, there's still an income. The disadvantages are just that it does require some initial capital, around like $300 to $500 a month. All right. Okay. With this, you're good to start. All right. Now, where do you actually go ahead and hire all of these people? So for thumbnail designer, we use, X, Fiverr, Upwork, YT Jobs, or onlinejobs.ph. One thing though, all right, do not underestimate AI for thumbnail designers these days. AI got really, really good at like kind of creating images. So give it a try. We use it all of the time. Then for the scriptwriter, you can find them on Upwork, YT Jobs, onlinejobs.ph, or use AI. To be very honest, we mainly use AI just because scripts are good. There's nothing, most people, if you can do it correctly, most people won't even see that it's AI script. Okay. Now you can use any kind of AI. It doesn't need to be ChatGPT. Voiceover artist, Fiverr or 11 Labs. 11 Labs is, gonna be the easiest route to go kind of, and you will have super, super good AI voiceovers. Then for the video editor, Upwork, X, ytjobs or onlinejobs.ph. The cool thing is, if you work with me, we provide you with the editors and, freelancer teams. Then for a channel manager, you can have a look in your friends group, as they may be anyone that kind of wants to manage your channel. Now, again, for the channel manager, you do not need a channel manager if you're running one channel. Not needed. All right. Then on Upwork, you can find really good guys. Or, what I always do is I just use one of my freelancers, right? The freelancer that is kind of the most accountable, we just upgrade him to channel manager. And he, manages then the whole team, which is cool. Or ytjobs and then onlinejobs.ph. That's kind of where you can find really, really good freelancers. Now, for the payment methods, I would always recommend you guys to actually go ahead and ask them like, hey, what kind of payment method do you use? That's always going to be the best. So the most commonly used payment methods are either bank transfer, Wise, PayPal, Remitly, but always make sure to ask them because, we don't want them to do all of the work and then we can't pay them. All right. Please always pay your freelancers because I know, from the freelancers that there are so many people that scam them. So please just pay them. All right. Now, once we have that, we should get into the niche testing framework. Now, I follow this exact process with every single niche I get into to avoid spending money on videos that will never ever work. So how does this work? So firstly, we do niche research. You guys know exactly how to do niche research by now. Then we need an account. You guys know exactly which account and what account and how to warm it up, how to test it. You know exactly what to do by now. If not, go back to the video. Then we need video topics, all right? I would say for most people that are just starting out, do 10 to 15 video topics. Now, by now, you should also know exactly how a good video topic looks like. If you're unsure, go back to the beginning because this is super important. You need to nail your video topics, okay? Can't half-ass it because then it's not going to work. So once you have your video topics, we're actually going to, when we're testing a niche, we're actually going to test it on a kind of little cheaper way, okay? Now, for the script, we're going to write it with AI, the voiceover, AI, so 11 Labs, the video editor, freelancer. Now, you do not need the best video editor in the beginning to test the niche, all right? So you can get away with a $15 to $25 video editor, okay? That's completely fine. You don't need to bring out another, like a Netflix documentary for the first video. It's not needed, all right? We just want to test if the channel even has the potential to work, okay? Then for the freelancer or for the thumbnail, we actually use a freelancer or we do it ourselves. As I've already explained, like AI got super, super good at thumbnails. So test that out, all right? Then very important, our video length should be 1.5 times longer than our competitor videos. Why? Because we want an advantage over our competitors. The video that's going to keep someone the longest on YouTube is always going to be the video that is going to be pushed more by YouTube. Very simple because YouTube then makes more money, okay? Then the thumbnail and the title should be something that has already worked in the niche. So we do not want to kind of reinvent the wheel when it comes to the thumbnail and the title, all right? Please don't reinvent the wheel, all right? Then we actually get into posting. So we actually, we want to post 10 to 15 videos on that channel, at least actually 15 videos to really see like, okay, is there any kind of potential with this niche? So what you will see either in scenario 1, where nothing happens and then the channel blows up. Sometimes it's also blowing up immediately. But once the channel actually starts getting views, then we know, okay, we can actually continue to post videos on this channel. All right. So you only post more than 15 videos on the channel once the channel actually blew up. Now, if this does not happen and you do not get any views, might be a few of these reasons. So either it's your niche, your video topics, your packaging, your video length, or it's a bad channel. Always go back and study why did a channel fail? Because if you don't do this, what do you want to improve? Right? So we always need to go back and study exactly why and what did I do wrong. Now, in case of the channel failing, we just go ahead and we repeat this exact process, all right? Until we get something that wins. And trust me, if you watch my videos and if you're going to actually, implement this and just do it over and over and over and over again, you will 1,000,000% find something that works. 100%. All right. Now we get into the awesome part, which is monetization. So this is, probably everyone's favorite part. How do we actually make money from YouTube? So we have something called the YouTube Partnership Program. This is the easiest way to monetize your videos, where YouTube pays you directly for the views you get. Now, for the YouTube Partnership Program, you need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 and 4,000 hours of watch time. Now, I know 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time sounds a lot, but the people we work with get to this point on average in like 14 days, and not 14 days, because I just had a call with the student. I got it in 14 days. So yeah, greetings to Frank. But yeah, on average, our students get to this point in 3 to 6 weeks on average. Just had someone doing it again yesterday, as we can see here. So 6 weeks. And where is it? Here, just crossed the magic number of 1,000 subscribers this afternoon. Could not be happier. Now, how much can you actually earn? So we have CPM, which is cost per 1,000 views, how much advertisers pay per 1,000 views or impressions on their ad. And then we have RPM, revenue per 1,000 views, how much you actually make per 1,000 views. So it's very simple. For 1,000 views, you get paid $5. For 10,000 views, you get paid $50. For 100,000 views, you get paid $500. For a million views, you get paid $5,000. For 10 million views, $50,000. All right. So for the channel we've just seen, I can just quickly show you guys right here. Boom. Here we can see almost 10 million views and $50,000. Okay, almost. Right. So yeah, just to give you guys an example. Now, how can you actually go ahead and increase your RPM? So you want to turn on alcohol and gambling ads and create longer videos than 15 minutes, like really pushes your RPM, and plays ads like every 10 seconds using Nextlev. So if you're going to do that manually, good luck. Nextlev is the way to go if you're placing ads. All right. Now, we also have brand deals. Okay. Now, as your channel grows, brands will actually start reaching out to you to promote their products. Now, you need to negotiate with the brands and try to get a minimum of 5x your RPM per 1,000 views. The higher, the amount you can actually negotiate, the better, obviously. Now, be careful because, all right, there are a bunch of fake brands that will reach out. So do not just click on any random links they send to you and randomly download documents they send. Trust me, I've had to learn it the hard way. Back in the days when I still had my personal brand, I actually got hacked. So please be careful with that. All right. You can sell digital products. Okay. This is something many of our students actually do because it's so easy. So they're different kind of digital products. Educational products, courses, ebooks, webinars, and so on. Digital media, so music, video, podcast, photos, software and apps, creative assets, templates, fonts, graphics, digital tools and resources, memberships and subscriptions. And you can literally go ahead and host them on Teachable, Gumroad, Patreon, or Kajabi. All right. So a bunch of our students are doing this. Marvin, just as an example, he's a perfect example who's doing this. We have an interview with him on this channel as well, who makes an extra 5K a month, by simply selling ebooks through his videos. Now, guys, if you need any help and you don't want to go through a trial and error and all of these things, then check out the first link in the video description. Book a call with me. Let's scale up your channel as well, just like we did here. Monetization, then here $14,000 a month. Here monetize in 20 days. Here two consecutive $1,000 days. Guys, just check out the first link in the video description. Book your call. We'll have a look if it makes sense to work together. If yes, we'll do. If no, then we won't. All right. Just make sure you're serious. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.